Hey guys, BiLlHiLLY Adventures here today, and we're out for another adventure. Standing here in the yard at Daniel's, aka the Bearded Hillbilly, I've named him. But anyway, I'm in his yard here picking him up. We're heading out for an adventure today. We're going to do an overnighter and camp out by the lake. So we hope to get some good footage. We hope to get some good images and some footage and have a good time out on trail. Just wanted to jump on here and welcome you to this adventure and take you along with us. We've got a little ways to drive to get up there. It is late in the evening. It is about, it's probably around 2 o'clock, maybe just a little after. Due to work, I had to work and couldn't get done what I needed to do until about 12:30, 1 o'clock. But we packed up last night. We got all our gear together, got all our gear ready, and so I swung in here. I'm picking Daniel up, and we are headed out here on trail, and we just wanted to bring you with us, so we're glad you're joining us. And we just want to say, if you've not liked the channel, subscribe and share the content, help us get it out. But we want to bring you along on this adventure, so let's go and let's get it done. Hey guys, we've stopped here on our way up to the lake where we're headed. We just stopped here for a minute to take a quick video and to look at a few things. There's some things here where we're at. This is a little place where you can park at an overlook, give you a view of some of the mountains around here. I hope the noise from the cars in the background isn't too much, but anyway, we're going to walk out on the end of this overlook, and I'll turn the camera around and give you a look and show you what's out here. Some awesome views down this big valley here. Well, hey guys, as you can see, we've made it to the campground, Bark Camp Lake area. We are not going to be staying in the campground here at the park or the lake area. There is a loop trail that goes around the lake. We may get on it and do a little bit of exploring and some of that. But we're not going to be staying actually in the actual lake area right here, the campground area or the recreation area. We're actually going to be going out toward the dam or the spillway, and when we get out there, what we're going to do is we're going to disperse camp out there and find us a spot out there. There is a place out there I've been to before that I think is still usable, still workable out there. I think there's probably even still a fire pit there, but we're going to go out that way and disperse camp, and we're going to explore around the lake and maybe some of the woods around this area, and we hope to bring you some pretty good footage. But I will bring you back here in just a little bit. We're glad you're joining us on this adventure. This lake, guys, is not a very big lake. There is a bit of a map of it there you can see. It's not a huge lake. If I'm not mistaken, I think this lake is 40 some acres, 45. I'll look and see if I can find it here on some of this. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 45, 46 acres, best I recall. Well, guys, as you can see, we've made it. We got up here to the lake, and we've paid our parking fee to park here overnight. As I said a few moments ago, we are not going to be camping in the actual park and the recreation area. What we're actually going to be doing is going down here and catching this trail that goes sort of away from the lake out there, and we're going to disperse camp and get set up out there. But we're glad you come along on this adventure with us. We're glad to be out here, to be back out in the woods again. It is a beautiful day, just a nice day out here. It's not really too cloudy, with few clouds. This place where we are, this is, from what I understand, it's supposed to be one of the best areas for low light pollution within, I think it's something like a 500-mile radius or something like that. So at night, when it finally gets dark, we're going to try to get us some good video and some good photos of the sky tonight and see what we can come up with. And so hopefully we'll be able to get some good shots of that. But we're going to get our gear on, get our stuff together. We're going to head on out on trail here, and we'll bring you back when we get out there. I'm gonna go right here, I guess. Probably between these two trees. Well, guys, we've arrived at campsite here and getting set up. It's late evening. I think it's probably after 4 o'clock or whatever. But we're getting set up here. What I wanted to do, just wanted to show you this here. What I've got here is a way to hang my pack. Just a simple way to hang my pack here with this piece of cord. Just a piece of paracord. And what I do with this is basically probably what you've seen done who knows how many times on other videos. It's the same principle that's used when you're using a marlin spike hitch and you put you know, a stick through it, that sort of thing. What I'm doing is using the same principle, but all I'm doing is using a carabiner. And so what I do is I take this around the tree. I've already got a loop in it here. And so what I do is I just hook my carabiner through that loop right there. I take it around the tree here, and then what I do is I do the marlin spike hitch here, as you can see, fold it over itself, make the loop, and then I just take that through there and pull it tight. And then what I do is I just have my hook hanging like this, and the loop on my pack just goes right over the hook here, as I'll show you. Let me spin it around here, the pack. And you can just take this pack, pick it up, set it against the tree, run your loop through the hook here, if I can find it. Find the loop, there's the loop. And just hook it on it and let it hang, which I've probably got it a little bit low, but you get the idea. It hangs on that hook, and that is a climbing hook. Of course, that's probably overkill for what I need, but it does the job. But that's how I hang my pack. Simple, quick, easy way to do it. Okay, guys, I was just going to get on here and give you a bit of a close-up of what we just did a minute ago here with this carabiner and using a marlin spike hitch. As you can see right here, I have a bowline tied right here. That way, no matter what the pressure is on this bowline, you'll always be able to get it undone. And then again, I just put the carabiner through it, just stick it through it. And then over here is where I do the marlin spike hitch. There's a loop through there in the way that makes it look a little odd. But here is basically the marlin spike hitch over the carabiner. And then when you put the weight on it, of course, it tightens on itself. And then you just connect this carabiner. I've got it locked right now. But you just connect this loop over this, push it through, let the gate close, and you can lock it if you want. You don't really need it locked for this purpose, but that is just a quick, simple, easy way. And if you don't have the carabiner, you can just simply from the ground pick up a stick. You can run this through this loop and make the marlin spike hitch through the end that has the bowline tied on it. Couldn't think of it. Where the bowline is tied on it here, you can just run this through there and put a stick through, and then hang your pack over the stick. You can run the stick through this loop as long as it's wide enough this way to come out on this side of the loop and let the pressure pull down on it and hold it. But that's a quick, simple, easy way. Back up here and show you. As you can see, to just hang your pack on the tree. You can see it's off the ground. And again, it probably is a little lower than what I want it right now, so I'll probably raise that up just a little bit. But for demonstration purposes, you get the point. Well, guys, what I got with me today is the BiLlHiLlY's 3x3 tarp. I know in the last video, or the first video we did up by Keokee Lake, I said I had the 3x3 with me. Turned out it was the 4x4. I actually have the 3x3 with me today, and as I typically use, I have my BiLlHiLLY's large ground sheet that I'm going to put down. I'm going to string me a tarp up between these trees here and get this hung, and then get my hammock hung and ground sheet down. One of the other things I've got with me today is this is the bag I always carry. This has my extra guy lines in it. It has my quick deploy ridge line in it, and my stakes, and a couple extra pieces of cordage in case I need some extra cordage. One of the things that I wanted to show you on this bag is, if you look at it, it looks like it's got a skin disease and it's peeling. And what that is, Daniel's over there laughing at me. What that is, just as an experimental thing, this was just an old bag I had. I wasn't worried if it gets wet or anything. But what I did is I took the clear Flex Seal and I sprayed this bag just to see how it would react and see what it would do. So in case you're ever wondering about spraying gear, you can see what it does. It flakes off really, really bad, so I suggest don't use it, don't do it. Well, hey guys, just wanted to show you this. I know I did this in the last video, but I don't think the quality was as good as what I can get today. So I wanted to show you this. This is a quick deploy ridgeline. I think this is 25 or 30 feet, which typically is probably more than what you need, but it's better to have it and not need it. You can always coil it up and tie it to itself out of the way, but there's plenty on here, and I just wrap it. You just pull it, and then you can sort of undo this. And what I do is I keep the alien loops on this. I showed those to you before. Give you a little bit better close-up this time than what I did the last time. And again, what I do here, I hope you can see that. I hope it's showing up. What I have here is just a simple bowline tied in here. And what I do here is I take this alien loop and I feed this loop of this bowline through the big loop, just like so, and then take it over the whole thing and pull it tight so that it binds on itself. And then what happens with this is it goes around the tree, and when you take it around the tree, you just feed a loop end through that big loop, and then you take it over the small loop and you pull it tight. And when you do, as you can see, it will not move. And it works really well just to connect, a quick connect to the tree. When it's raining, when it's snowing, when it's cold, it's very easy to just pull that loop over and pull it free. And then what I do on the rest of it here is I have just 3 Prusiks tied with the alien loops on them as well. That way, quickly connect your tarp just the same way. I run the loop on my tarp through this big loop over the ear and pull tension on it, holds it tight. The other thing that I do here, you can see this one slides on the line. And the reason for this is when I get out to the other end, and this end, this being the working end, is around the tree. Before I take it around the tree, what I do is I take this and I pull a loop up and twist it, and then take it over the little ear, and that binds it. So what happens is when the working end goes around the tree and comes back, what you're able to do is you're able to take the working end in front of the big loop. You'll pull it in front of that big loop and pull it, and this will be out tight. And so when you pull this in front of that big loop, it binds behind it, as you can see right there. And once you have pressure on that, it's self-binding. And then you can wrap it back in front of itself. You can wrap it back in front of itself a couple times, and that'll hold it. You can even put a half hitch in it or whatever you want just to kind of hold that to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. But it's quick, it's simple, it's easy, and that's the way I like it when it comes to setting up, especially if you find yourself in really cold weather or in the rain and you're trying to hurry. A big storm's coming and you're trying to hurry and get it up. These things make it just quick, simple, and easy. Well, hey guys, we're still setting up here. Just wanted to bring you back and show you this, how to connect this tarp to these loop aliens. Hopefully you can see that and it's focusing. But what you do is you just take this loop, and you've got the big loop on the alien here, the loop alien. You just run it through it like so, and you push that over this little lip, and you can see right there it binds on itself. And then of course the Prusik, when you put pressure on it, it won't slide. And it's just a quick, simple way to attach. And when you're ready to detach, if it's raining, if it's cold, maybe you've got gloves on, you just take pressure off of that, push up on it, and it pops right off. Quick, simple, and easy way to do it when you're out in the woods. But anyway, just wanted to show you that. Well, guys, still getting set up here. Just wanted to show you this. This is what they would call the diamond configuration. I'm sure you're familiar with it. You see it all the time on YouTube, different videos, that sort of stuff. Part of the reason that I went with the diamond shape this evening is because my hammock is an 11-foot hammock. This is a 3x3 tarp, which I think makes it just shy, I think, of 10 feet. So if I do it square, sometimes it won't quite cover all the way to the end of my hammock. And then some of my strap, or maybe right at the very end of my hammock, may be hanging out. And if it were to rain, it would get wet, or if the dew were to fall. There is a slight chance of rain, I think, tomorrow. And I'm not sure what time we'll get out of here. I'm not sure when it was going to start. I looked earlier, but I don't recall. But I do think there is a slight chance of rain tomorrow. So that's why I went with the diamond point configuration. That gives me more coverage on the ends. I can stretch these out and still get plenty of air and still have plenty of coverage. But just an easy way to do it. I've got a pack of ramen that I don't know how long they've been in there. That's just carbohydrates on them noodles. I like ramen though, and of course that chicken teriyaki mountain house has turned out to be pretty good. I kind of like it. What y'all think, guys? What's your favorite food on trail? A lot of folks use the freeze-dried. I just use whatever happens to be convenient or whatever I might be in the mood for. I like a little bit of everything. We've done everything from steak and potatoes to Mountain House, you know, the freeze-dried type meals to oatmeal, all types of different things we all think, we all like. Let us know in the comments. Yep. You can probably hear that Metaflight chopper in the background. Hope nobody is hurt seriously and hope everybody's okay. Pretty important, guys. Always pay attention when you're getting stuff out of the bags, moving things around. It's easy to drop stuff. Drop those straps, which you would use if you were using the top quilt to this with a sleeping pad. You would attach these under the sleeping pad to the sides of the top quilt, and it keeps it from moving. When you move around, it holds it in place. I just keep it in the bottom of that bag that this under quilt and the top quilt goes in. Of course, the top quilt I think is a 15 degree as well, and it's just really too hot for that, so I didn't bring it. What I did bring is just this is a Kelty blanket. It's a synthetic. I'm not sure what the material is. I do know that in the summertime makes a great blanket. Packs down pretty small, pretty easy to use. Just a great little piece of kit there to use as far as in the summertime cover up with as far as blanket. Well, hey guys, just wanted to jump back on here a minute. We've been just taking our time getting in here. As most of you know, we were late getting in here, late getting started, but we are set up pretty much at camp. I don't have my table, stove, chair out yet. Getting ready to do that. Going to try and eat about here. I think me and Daniel both have gone about all day and not eat anything. We stopped at the store and I think he grabbed some M&Ms. I grabbed a Snickers bar or something. That's all we've had. We've got set up here, but just thought I'd take a minute and show you what we've got here at camp and sort of show you the setup. This is pretty much my normal setup. I think I said in previous videos, I am a hammock guy. I just like a hammock. It's comfortable. It just works well for me. I'm not real big on a tent. Daniel's more of a tent guy. The bearded hillbilly likes to sleep on the ground. So me, I prefer the tent, but I'm going to spin this camera around and just give you a look at camp here and show you a few things. Okay guys, I was just going to show you here what I've got. Again, my normal hammock setup. My ridge line is normally what I do. Again, it is set up with the alien loops, if that'll focus. I guess you can see that. I just set it up with those alien loops. I use the just the quick cinch buckle type connections on my hammock connected to a continuous loop here. And I leave the stuff sack on here. Just slide it back. You can see the end there. I just leave that on there. When I'm done, take it down. I start here. Start stuffing it in as I go and put it up that way. And again, back up and show you here, I am in the diamond point configuration with my tarp. I am using the War Bonnet XLC hammock. It is my go-to. It's very comfortable. It is a diagonal lay hammock. It is very comfortable. It's double layered, so you can put a sleep pad in it. I think I've said before, I prefer the under quilt. It's just works better for me. I like it better than fooling with a sleeping pad, blowing it up, it moving around all during the night. This just works better for me, so I like it. And that's sort of my setup. And what I did for my ground sheet, I have I think that's the DD Hammocks extra large ground sheet. And what I did here is I just left it folded in half. It's still enough to step out on, lay your things on, that sort of thing. Works really well. Got my bag hung on the tree. Probably will leave that hanging there tonight. But just wanted to bring you on here and just give you an update of what we're doing and where we're at and what we got going on. I'm gonna get my stuff out over here, I think, and get started on a meal, try to eat something. Then we're gonna head down to the lake and see what's going on down there. But anyway, we're glad you joined us on this adventure. Hopefully we're gonna get some good footage tonight up here at the lake. As I said before, this is one of the few areas, places where there is extreme low light pollution, and you're supposed to be able to see the stars really well. The last time we were up here, I was up here back, I think in the fall. It was much cooler back then. Leaves were pretty well off, and we came up here and we were hoping to get a good night, but it was so cloudy we couldn't get any footage that night. But it looks like so far, just looking at the sky, that the clouds have pretty much rolled out and it looks pretty clear. So we're hoping to get some footage, but we'll see.
Oh gosh, I about fell. Well, that'd made the blooper reel. Right there, level.
Well, hey guys, we are kind of set up. We're just chilling out. The sun is going down. I think Daniel's got his food cooked already, just about ready to eat, I think.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to get mine started here. Going to make probably a mountain house again, I guess, is what I've got with me. I think I do have some ramen. Probably just do a mountain house, something quick, something simple, something easy, so we can get out here at the lake. Maybe try to get some footage out there around the water, and hopefully maybe catch a little bit of the sunset. I don't know. And hoping to get some good footage of like the stars, that sort of stuff. Daniel's pretty good at getting that, the Milky Way and some of that. He's done some pretty good footage on that in the past. But that's what I think I'm going to try to do is go ahead and eat and get out there and see what we can do. I was going to tell you, Daniel, this is my idea for a windscreen. And what I did, and this is just a good camp hack, guys. What I did is I went and bought one of them. It's just them flimsy aluminum pans. A lot of people put them in the bottom of their oven to catch grease and that sort of stuff. What I did is I bought one of those, and I just laid it out, and I took a round wooden dowel about yay big, and just rolled over it and smoothed it out real good, and then I cut it in a long strip. And so what I do with that is I use it as a windscreen. And what I do is I just take some, as you can see here, I just take some Ranger bands and slide them up over this to hold it around my canister. And of course I don't think I need a windscreen here today, but it's a handy way to keep it. It's a handy way to travel with it, to keep it with your stuff, and it just unfolds. It's like it's almost like a heavy-duty aluminum foil type deal, but it's real simple, real light, doesn't weigh a thing, and you can just set that around like that, and when you're done with it, you can just fold it back up and put it back around your cut or your gas. Put the Ranger bands around it, and you've always got a windscreen handy. If you don't need it, just leave it on there. No big deal, not a big issue, but you'll always have it with you if you need it. What I did is I think I might have folded that and maybe even doubled it. I think it's double the thickness of what it is. Almost looks like aluminum foil, but it is not aluminum foil. It is aluminum, but it's just one of them pans, and I just cut it out and cut some notches in the bottom so the air can get under it when you set it up or whatever. But just a quick, simple, easy way to do it. That's just more proof that you don't have to spend a fortune really to get out in the woods. There are some things that I won't, the buy once, cry once, yeah, there's some things expensive, and yeah, it hurts when you purchase them, but some of those things will last just, a lifetime almost, as long as you take care of them, and that is key to anything that you buy, that you bring out into the woods. You do want to make sure you take care of it, that you treat it, the way it should be treated, clean it, store it properly, that sort of stuff, especially when you're dealing with expensive things such as down under quilts, down sleeping bags, that sort of, those sort of items. You want to make sure that you do not store those compressed long term. 2 or 3, 4 days, week, whatever, out on trail is one thing, but when they're stored at home, you don't want them compressed. You want to make sure that they are stored loosely so that the down stays expanded. If it stays compressed for long, extended periods of time, it will not fluff back up, and you'll lose the warmth factor to it, and then it becomes basically obsolete, and that's what you don't want. Guys, one of the other things that I do is, of course, the little bag that I keep my cup in. I think this is a Bestercott, I think is the name brand of this. I think this is a 500 milliliter, or no, 750 milliliter pot. Pretty much about all I do is boil water in this. Occasionally I might make something in it, but I have the GSI cup that I typically drink out of. But this here, the stuff sack it comes in, I just keep all my other stuff down in here in baggies. I've got a little bit of cooking oil. I've got some dishwashing liquid. I've got a fire beaner for striking. If my striker doesn't work, that's made by Outdoor Elements. Excellent piece of kit. If you don't own one, I would suggest you get one. It has a wire cutter on it. It has, I think, a glass breaker on one end, maybe. Or maybe the other one I've got does. I've got 2 of these, I think. But I use this one to strike my stove with, because the particular stove I'm using today does not have a built-in striker on it. This is, but I keep a sponge, a couple of lighters, some cleaning stuff in case I need it. And when I'm using the pot, I just put all that down in this bag, and I hang this off the table. And again, this is the little table I made. I just hang the string over one of them, let it hang. It's out of the way, you don't have to worry about it. I also keep a cleaning cloth in there. This is more like a chamois type cloth. Real handy to just clean up, wipe up with, to grab a hold of it with when it's hot. That type of stuff works really well. And this is titanium, so it's really good to work with, really light, really cool, cools down really quick. And this is the little BSR stove. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'll show it to you. That is the little BSR stove. If I'm not mistaken, I bought that off of Amazon, I think it was. I give 14 bucks for it, I think it was, something like that. Again, it's another one of them things where you can see you don't have to spend a fortune to get out in the woods.
How you know you're fat?
Huh?
So how do you know when you're fat? When you can use your koozie at the table on your belly.
We're getting some water boiled up here, and gonna eat a mountain house. So what I brought with me today was a mountain house. I think I've got a couple in here, and probably some ramen. I did not bring any real breakfast food. Not typically a big breakfast eater. I've got some Cliff Bars and some snack stuff that I may snack on in the morning if I decide I want to eat breakfast. Well, what is everybody else into this weekend? Again, we're out here at the lake, gonna just do an overnighter, hang out here for a while, and probably finish eating and go out by the lake. But what's everybody else into this weekend? Comment, post some pictures, show us what you guys are into and what type of adventures you're having this weekend. We'd like to see. I like to watch other channels and look at other social media of people who get out and do the same thing. Just like to get out and enjoy nature, and like to see other people do the same thing. Well, guys, I'm boiling. Let that cool down a second, and I'm gonna pour it in this mountain house. And Guys, we're gonna see if this thing hydrates here. We got some water in it. Gonna stir it up good. Always when you're using these dehydrated meals, you really want to dig into the bottom and the corners. A lot of that stuff will settle down in those bottoms and corners, and if you don't dig it out of there, it won't hydrate, the water won't get to it. So make sure you dig that out pretty good, stir it really well, seal it up, and start your timer to let it set to make sure it hydrates well.
I do not recommend the ice cream sandwiches.
No. Yeah, we've tried the ice cream sandwiches.
I would rather eat dirt.
Yes, it is a joke. I think I watched one time, was watching, I don't know if it was Jim and Ted both. I know it was Ted and his wife, I think. Maybe one of their adventures they were out on. I was watching, and they had one. And they were camping with somebody else. I'm wanting to say, what's her name, Alexis or something? Can't think of her name. She does a lot of canoeing trips and that sort of stuff. And they were out with her and her husband, boyfriend, whoever he is. And they sort of split one, and they were all like, nah, this ain't very good. This ain't very good. So they didn't care much for it. So, well, I don't know, but I would think something more like a pudding type mixture would work. What do you guys think? I would think something like a pudding mixture where you can just add the water to it, stir it up, you know, let it kind of hydrate that way. I don't know. I just don't, the ice cream sandwich thing just was not very good. Check on this meal and see if this bad boy is rehydrated yet. It's about time to eat. Probably not quite ready just yet. Be dark before long, but hopefully we're going to try to finish up and eat here real quick and maybe get down to the lake and get some video, hopefully. Guys, we're just sitting around the campfire here. I'm going to eat, and we're just chatting. I know, you know, a lot of times you sort of wonder what do people talk about sitting around camp, and you know, what's the topic of conversation. And sometimes we talk about gear, and sometimes we talk about the particular adventure we're on and what we're experiencing and what we're dealing with on the adventure, or something we've seen, or something maybe we want to accomplish before we get out of the woods today or tomorrow. But oftentimes our conversation centers around the Bible and Scripture. We both are believers in Yahweh. I think I told you in the last video, I just did some introductory stuff, kind of introduced myself, told you who I was. And like I said in that video, I'd been in ministry for I've been a believer in Yahweh, I guess, about 26 years, and been in ministry, probably active ministry on some level, about 24 years of that. The last 6 years, I've been in pastoral ministry, and recently just came out of pastoral ministry. Just wanted a break from that, and so got out of that, and we've been doing some home meetings with family and doing some Bible studies and that sort of thing. But Daniel, we were just sitting around, and I think he's got a question, and it's an interesting question.
There was a lady that asked the question, if talking to the dead is so wrong, why in 1 Samuel 28 did they do it? That's the question.
Interesting question. If you're familiar with 1 Samuel 28, if you're familiar with the story that he's referring to, this is the story of King Saul, who had gotten to such a place in his life that he could not hear from Yahweh. The prophets couldn't prophesy for him, and he wanted to hear from Yahweh about his situation and what was going on. Essentially, he was already in a backslidden state, a backslidden condition. He had banned all of the witches and sometimes you would read in Scripture the soothsayers, which was basically a fortune teller of our day and time, something along those lines. and he goes to the witch at Endor, is what the Bible calls her, a witch. He goes to the witch at Endor. He had banned all the witches in Israel and had supposedly put them out and made it basically a death penalty if you were caught practicing witchcraft and necromancing and that sort of stuff. But he goes and he disguises himself, and he's trying to get this witch to conjure up Samuel because he wants to hear from Samuel the prophet, who was the mouthpiece of Yahweh, who would speak to the people on their behalf. And she's in the process of doing it, realizes who he is, that he is King Saul, even though he disguised himself, and she was fearful, and he told her no, not to worry about it. Nothing would happen to her, to go ahead. And some people believe that she actually conjured up Samuel, and there's a lot of varying views and beliefs on that. I personally don't think she actually conjured up Samuel. The Bible speaks of what is called a familiar spirit, and I don't think that a witch or someone who is of that capacity has the ability to reach into the realm of the dead, if you will, and conjure up someone, especially someone of the stature of Samuel, who was a prophet of Yahweh, whom the Bible says not one word he spoke fell to the ground. In other words, everything he prophesied came to pass just as he said, because he was hearing the voice of Yahweh. And so my view on that, and what I've studied of it in Scripture, probably was a familiar spirit. There's a lot of interesting things in Scripture that, at face value, you read it, and it may not make sense at first. And, I've heard people say, well, the Bible contradicts itself, but I found that to be absolutely not true.
That's what she was at.
It takes some deeper study. We're 2,000 years removed from the time of Yeshua, the Messiah, and we're even further removed from the Hebraic writings, the Hebrew writings in what most people would call the Old Testament. We have that Western mindset, that Western mindset, and a lot of people want to try to look at the Scripture and interpret the Scripture through, a modern day understanding, and you just can't do that. Nope. Daniel's still over there on the dam taking some pictures and exploring around. Pretty little area up here, pretty little lake, as you can see. This is part of the spillway in the dam right there. That right there is the spillway, and you can see probably where some stuff is washed up over there a little bit, but pretty nice little place up here. It's a small lake, but it is very nice. Very quiet place, just beautiful little lake. And there is a loop trail that goes all the way around the lake, if I'm not mistaken. I think it goes across the dam right there and goes out over into the woods right there, as you can see in this shot, and goes out that way. But just a little closer over here on this spillway, you can see where it's washed debris and trees and things down through there. One of the noticeable things about this little lake and the recreation area is it is very clean. You don't see a lot of garbage laying around There's not a lot of garbage in the lake, that sort of thing. They do seem to keep it up really well. They seem to maintain it pretty good. Looking out across the water and across the lake, and it's probably a little darker than what you can see in the video here, but nonetheless, beautiful evening out here on the water. Pretty over through there. There is a dock off over this way, right there in the center of the shot. Maybe I'll see if I can zoom in on it and give you a little better look at it. Give you a little look at the dock area right there. You can actually walk down to that from over there. When we first came into the recreation area over there, there is some, there's a pathway, a little path that goes down there and some steps that go down to the dock, and there's a little covered shed over there, I think, with a couple picnic tables on it, that type of thing, where you can come and do picnics, what have you. Well, guys, as you can see, it's a pretty little lake. It is getting probably about dusky dark. The moon you can see in the sky off in front of me over that way. But it is a nice lake up here, pretty area. We're even talking about maybe coming back, bringing the kayaks and getting out and exploring around the lake. As I said a minute ago, there is a loop trail, I think. If I'm not mistaken, it's right over in this area in the woods and goes all the way around. We actually ended up on that side of it the last time we hiked up here, and that was due to a mistake that somebody made, and it might be the person on camera at the moment. That we actually came off the mountain down to the lake. We were hiking. We were on a 3-day hike. We came down off the mountain down to the lake, and there was a footbridge that went across some swamp area, and I made the assumption that that was the trail. Well, it was the trail, but it was the trail that went around to the opposite side of the lake we wanted to be on. So we ended up that night, I think we night hiked until after 10 p.m. And then what we did is we got over on the other side of the lake back out here past the recreation area out there, and we ended up disperse camping in the woods just because we really had no other choice. But that was a 3-day trip. But again, we're glad you're all on this adventure with us, and we're thankful you come out with us, and we're going to try to walk around here a little more and maybe get some more videos, some more pictures. Just a beautiful evening, and we're glad you're with us. Again, we're glad you found the channel. If you like the content, we just ask that you would like the videos, subscribe, and share the content. Let other people see the beauty of Yahweh's creation. Anyway, it's good to be out here.